feels like something's off, like you're living, but not really living. You're not crazy. You're just caught up in an illusion. What I tend to realize is that many people right now are distracted. They're numbing themselves out and they're avoiding things. And because you're doing this, you're staying trapped in the illusion. Typically, what happens is when you start to move in alignment and you start to change your ways, you begin to have a newfound awareness. And that puts you in a difficult position because the moment that happens, your consciousness now expands and it makes it to where things that were once in dark are now being shined by light. So typically what happens is most people don't want to truly change their ways because they know that is going to be a difficult thing, because the moment you decide and make that decision, everything is changing so rapidly, so people can't keep up with that, so they'll rather fall back into the illusion. What this looked like in my lifestyle was I was basically just being a person throughout my lifestyle to where I was always having moments to where I was aware of things, but then I would get distracted. I would allow people to influence me, or, I would just be comfortable because I knew that sometimes being a man that is moving in purpose is really extremely difficult and it doesn't feel good all the time. So what I tend to realize is when you're talking about the illusion, let's first define it as it's just you living on autopilot. You're just doing things daily without no true intention. You're chasing things that don't fulfill you. Your heart is basically broken sometimes. You feel numb. You're just numbing yourself out and you're doing things that are not moving you in a direction that is aligned with God. So one of the first things that I had to do was just bring awareness to that. I had to just basically say, okay, you know what? I am not being the man that I know I'm capable of being. I can do more. I can become a better person. And now I need to start understanding why I'm not doing that. So you have to reflect. Why aren't you doing more? Is it because you are satisfied with being in pleasure? It's difficult for you to change. You're making excuses. You're playing a victim. You don't want to heal. You don't want to go to therapy because you might have so much trauma. You don't want to let go of that weed. You don't want to let go of that bottle. You have to first start why you're doing the things that you're doing. And then that's what I started to do. So the next step was I basically had to start removing some of the distractions because we have too many distractions in this world. We have social media, we have drugs, we have alcohol, we have, things that we shouldn't be watching online that can satisfy our lust. There's so many different things that are pulling you away from becoming a higher version of yourself and aligned version. So that's what I had to do. I had to evaluate, okay, I can spend less time on social media. I can spend less time doom scrolling. I can start removing distractions that aren't keeping me in my purpose mindset. So that means sometimes you have to let go of people. You have to let go of those people that are unaware, that are unconscious, that aren't vibrating higher, that don't want to be a man or woman of God. That could be your ex. It could be your parents sometimes. I had to take breaks away from people in my life. That means family too. Don't get it twisted. That means that you have to let go of some of your family members that aren't always moving with pure intentions. They don't have a positive mindset. They come around, they're negative. They keep talking about the past, and it lowers your vibration. So, that is important. And then one of the biggest things that I did is I had to face what I've been avoiding. And that's key. A lot of people avoid things. You keep avoiding, you keep saying, no, I'm not going to do it. But that means that you have to have that difficult conversation with them. That means that you have to truly start healing. And that healing isn't pretty. You might avoid the healing because it's difficult to do. That means that you have to say sorry. That means you have to tell that person, I did mess up, and can you put me in a position to where you can forgive me? And if you don't forgive me, that's okay. But I'm trying to be a man that is becoming better. And I'm having this conversation with you right now so that we can at least have a bond, especially if you want that person in your life. Or, you might be avoiding the fact that you need to put down these drugs. If something in your life, I know is calling you right now, you're avoiding something, you need to look yourself. You might be avoiding yourself. You're avoiding looking at yourself in the mirror and saying that I do need to become better. I do need to change my ways. I do need to stop with the habits that I currently have. I'm too inconsistent. I'm not facing truth. I don't like to hear truth. And you need to get with people that are speaking truth to you. That's why this channel is important. God over demons. God is speaking truth. God is bringing awareness, and God is telling you the next step is to move with intentions. And that was one of the things that God told me. I have to be more moving with intentions. I know that I have to start doing things with a mindfulness. What that means is I'm not just living life on autopilot. I'm not just hanging out with people just to hang out with people because I'm bored. I'm not just going to, to work and then coming home watching Netflix. And no, that means that when I come home from work, I said that I'm going to start moving in purpose. So that means I'm going to dedicate 1 or 2 hours to go to the gym. I'm gonna start making these videos. I'm gonna start writing down some of my goals. I'm gonna start building a vision. I'm gonna start executing on that vision. And then I'm gonna allow God to guide me in that right path. I'm gonna start reading the word of God, and I'm gonna start moving with a man that is gonna help me out, or a woman or a sister, somebody in my family, somebody that's gonna support me, somebody's gonna hold me accountable, because unity is key. We can't do this alone. You can't build alone. You have to get around people that'll hold you accountable, that'll hold you responsible, and that'll actually tell you that, yeah, we are living in this illusion, but together we're stronger with me and you when we build together. So I think all this really is about not you having more information, because we're living in a time period to where a lot of people have everything handed to them, right? You have AI that you have Google, you can just go on there and you get all the answers. But having all the answers without actually executing and bringing awareness is keeping you to a point to where you're not truly growing. So it takes you understanding how to get clarity. How can you get wisdom? How can you get more knowledge? And then how can I actually execute on this knowledge? Don't just learn just to learn just to learn. If you're not learning without executing, then you're not truly growing. The key is to not always understand that I am a person that's going to be perfect. You don't have to understand that. You're not going to be perfect. You have to just move when God tells you to move. And this is your signal. If you're hearing this right now, God is telling you not only to wake up from the illusion that you're in, but to move now, to execute now, to rise to a new standard, operate with a certain level of moral, ethical code, and put yourself in a position to where you're being around people that are going to help you become better. This is the community for you. If you made it this far, hit the like, subscribe, and share this so we can show people that we're moving with pure intentions. We're going to discipline ourselves, and we're going to align with God, because God is calling us right now in this very moment to do better and become better. All praise to the Most High. Until next time, peace.